Hello again, brothers and sisters. Today I'd like to cover another topic of discussion, um, the law of attraction, twin flame phenomenon, the pineal gland chakras, the third eye, all of these things that they told you about. None of them are true, but if you ever find yourself in a predicament that seems to be drastic or you just can't seem to find a way out, that's because you're in a third dimensional mentality. And they want you to believe that their law of attraction can magically just erase these things as if they didn't exist. All you have to do is imagine them and become a vibrational magnet to these things and gravitationally pull them in. Well, the inherent dilemma of the law of attraction is such that by its own title, it's telling you that it's reinforcing the lack, loss, and absence mentality. Because if you are convinced that there is something out there that you don't have in here, inside yourself, then you're attempting to attract it to you, bring it to you, pull it in, draw it in, own it, occupy it, possess it, have it with you. And that reinforces the lack, loss, and absence mentality that they give you. That's why you waste your entire life looking outside yourself for everything that you feel that you don't have. You feel that things are missing, absent, devoid, or broken in your reality. So therefore, you have to look for love, search for peace, try to find happiness, pursue your dreams, go after success, chase your riches and your wealth. Everything is always inferring that it can only be found outside you. The truth is, when the universe created you, the universe created you absolutely complete. There's nothing missing, nothing broken, nothing absent. Using religion as an example, they make people believe that God lives up in the sky, which creates a sense of disconnection. So therefore, how do you establish that connection? Of course, the church is on standby, telling people we're the only way you can do it. Through Christ, through our church, and now you can connect with God through the Bible. Of course, that's just lunacy and nonsense. You are God. You are neither above God nor below God. You are God. Your connection to Source was created from the inception of your soul. It is neither contingent upon nor reliant upon any intermediary, external, outside, arbitrary entity, such as religion, other people's systems of beliefs, and so on. Getting back to the law of attraction, why it's inherently nonsense. Well, first off, you don't attract anything to you. You're always a vibrational equivalent to something. You are always occupying a specific field of energy, that everything in that field of energy is vibrationally equivalent to you, whatever that field is. If you're in the third dimension down or in the fourth dimension higher, you're an equivalent to these things. It's automatic that they will see you. I always use the example of two tuning forks tuned to the same frequency. All you have to do is physically strike one of them and the other will vibrate without having to have been struck physically. Why is that? Because they're vibrational equivalents. They are in the same field of energy, the same vibrational environment, the same atmosphere. They are one and the same frequency. So you have to understand that you have to place your energy where you desire your life to be by living in continuous alignment with the frequency of your dreams and aspirations. You have to create what that means to you. It has nothing to do with thinking about anything, because thoughts do not become things. If you believe that a thought becomes something, open up your hand and manifest an apple seed in the middle of your palm from nothing. Thoughts do not become things. Energy is everything. A thought is just nothing but a mode of transportation that allows your energy to go from one point of transmission to another point of reception. Just like an intention, an idea, a suggestion, your perception, your intuition, your awareness, any type of inclination or ponderances or contemplations, impulses and instincts, feelings and emotions, the list goes on. All of these things do is serve as modes of transportation for a specific vibrational nature of energy to be transmitted from you to wherever you want them to go. And the universe will concur with that alignment by offering you experiences that match the dominant vibrational frequency of the transmissions you're offering. So whatever field of energy you find yourself in, that's what you will experience. It doesn't have anything to do with attracting anything, and everything to do with activating what's already in that field of energy. So I could give you a multitude of examples why the law of attraction is just a lie. I mean, look at September 11th, 2001. Can anybody honestly tell me in their heart that all of those victims, those poor people that had to suffer from that terrible incident, attracted that to themselves? Or like a 3-year-old girl sitting on the stoop, and she becomes a victim of a drive-by shooting meant for somebody else. A stray bullet hits her in her head. It happens all the time. You could be having the best day of your life, vibrating as high as possible, and have some tragedy befall you. Now, according to their law of attraction, you attracted it, which is absolute nonsense. You don't attract anything because they want you to think, or actually, they want you to believe that everything that you want is outside of you and it can only be found outside you. That's why you seek validation from external sources, not realizing that not 1 ounce of your self-worth is dependent upon anyone's acceptance or approval of you. If you don't have self-love, you have no foundation to build the entirety of your natural life upon, because self-love is the foundation upon which everything is built upon. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. If you don't love yourself, you can't heal. If you don't heal, you're not free. And if you're not free, you're not an individual. I can go on for hours why the law of attraction is nonsense. Like I said, you could be vibrating in a completely different field of energy, having the best day of your life, and something terrible happens to you. You could be sitting in your car, having a great day, enjoying your music on the phone with the family member, and boom, you get a tractor trailer slams into you. You can't control somebody else's actions or their behaviors or what's going on in their mind or their mentality, dysfunctions, toxicity, what kind of chaos they're entertaining in their lives. You can't claim ownership for that. It's not your responsibility. There's so many souls in this world, and you're not responsible for what they do. You're not responsible for what your neighbor does 5 doors down and 3 blocks up. What kind of heinous atrocities are taking place in this world right now that you have absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with? It's nothing to do with the law of attraction. People are what they are. You're not responsible for your reality entirely because you're not responsible for what goes on in this world. If that were to be the case, then you're responsible for all of the airline flights 41,000 feet up, or the submarines under the water, or everything that's happening around you as far as nature is concerned. You're not responsible for it because you're not in control of it. It's not in your power to do that, so you can't change it. And you're not attracting things to yourself. You consciously or unconsciously are slipping yourself into a specific vibrational environment, a field of energy, in which that there are other elements that vibrate precisely in that frequency. As before I said, using the 2 tuning forks as a prime example of this. You hit one, the other one vibrates and it rings out because they're tuned to the same frequency. They occupy the same vibrational environment, the field of energy. And that's exactly what it is. So don't give any credence to the law of attraction because it's nonsense. Thoughts do not become things. And you don't attract anything to you. You become a frequency and you create things inside yourself. And you become a vibrational equivalent to these things by maintaining and sustaining that indefinitely. And that's it. And you become the very embodiment of what you feel that is to you. So I wouldn't feed into the law of attraction because it's just absolute nonsense. And in all my years, I used to believe what they said until I started to honestly wake up. Until you break the 3rd dimensional barrier, you're always going to be incarcerated in their system. That is comprised of lies and illusions and games. And until you do, you're always going to be fed a narrative that's going to tell you how to think and how to act and how to feel and so on and so forth. And you'll never be yourself. because they want you to fit the false identity in their false positive, false energy, false narrative, the system, the matrix, whatever you want to call it. When you break that barrier, you're free. And then you realize that everything that you were taught and told is an absolute lie. And the law of attraction is right up next to religion and everything else they told you. You have to wonder why it is that if you refuse to send your children to their schools, which are indoctrination camps, by the way, that you get the police called on you. You'll literally get arrested for not bringing your children to their schools. Why do you think that is? Because they will not allow you to not enter into those indoctrination camps. That's why they ask your children, what do you want to be when you grow up? A fireman, a policeman, an astronaut, a nurse, a doctor? You don't hear them asking your children, do you want to be a divine ethereal alchemist that can transmute any energy into any other form of energy as a supernatural being that you are? And you don't have them come to you and encourage you to be aware of who and what you really are. They just train you to be exactly what they want you to be, obedient and a follower in their system. And the law of attraction is right in there with all of it. So I'm going to leave you with this. And also to say that you are always loved, you are never alone, and that you are God. You are source. Stop looking outside yourself for anything. Everything is created inside you. You create your peace and your happiness and everything else. And it's just that simple. And the moment you stop looking outside yourself for anything is the moment that you're reborn. And that's the moment that you awaken. And that is done through the process of ascension, enlightenment, and awareness. And then when you enter the fourth dimension, everything changes because now you're in a completely different vibrational alignment and vibrational atmosphere, and everything in there is conducive to aligning with the frequency of your dreams and aspirations. And it's just up to you to maintain that and don't vacillate. I wish you the best. God bless. Namaste. And may you always know peace in your journey.